G'day everyone, it is that time again, and can you hear that weather out there? It is pouring down here at the moment. Anywho, what have we got this month in this Makita update? Well, let's start first with some of the stuff here that's on the bench. Just some merch and other things, just some stuff to show you, seeing as you're clearly a Makita fan. First up, let's take a look at this grinder box here. So this is for holding your discs. This is an official Makita product, but not available, well, not available hardly anywhere it seems. There's probably a good reason for that, and that is it only takes 100mm or 4-inch discs. You can put 125s on the end, but there's only space for a couple on each end. But it's quite a cool, cute little idea, and I wish the whole thing was 125s because then it would be quite useful. But as it is, being 100s, not that great in this part of the world, seeing as most people use 5-inch or 125mm grinders. But if you're interested in that, I will put some links down in the description. Next up, people that ask me about StealthMounts. So yeah, Makita StealthMounts, there are 18 volt and 40 volt ones available in both. One's for holding your tools, one's for holding your batteries in both black and teal. You can also get these ones here which take 18 volt batteries. You can slip them in from either side. You can hook that on your wall and leave it on your wall, or you can have it so it's removable, clip it on the back of that one, and then you can take 6 batteries, carry them around with you to site, charge them up at night, chuck them back in your van with all 6 in one go. Nice and easy. And the guide rail squares, of course, in both the wide version and the narrow version. And these have these little things on the end here which are quite handy, which you may not realize what they're for, and that's to just help guide your hose when you've got it hooked up to your vac. Just helps stop your hose from sliding off the side and pulling at your saw and stuff like that. It'll follow nicely behind your saw because of those simple little plastic bits out the side. As for Makita merch, there's a new site where you can buy some merch. You can get beanies, bottle openers. The skateboard is available for those who've been asking me about the skateboard, and of course t-shirts. So there is one catch though, you do have to be in New Zealand. So if you are in New Zealand and you want to get hold of some of that gear, you can now just buy it direct. So I'll put a link to that down in the description as well. And now let's start actually talking about some tools. Also down there will be, why am I doing that? Will be my other channels, so voiceless tool reviews and builds and stuff. They've been a bit neglected recently, but hopefully gonna start ramping them up, particularly voiceless tool reviews. Anyway, down you go, have a look at those. Also, if you want a chance of winning Makita tools and other stuff like StealthMounts, merch, blah, 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 then take a look down at Patreon down in the description as well. I give away stuff each month down there, mostly Makita stuff. And also, if you haven't already checked out my Instagram, that's down there as well. So, you know, there's a few things that go on Instagram that never quite make it onto the channel. You might see things that are coming a bit before you'll see them here. But now on with the new tools. First up, we have the HW001G water blaster or pressure washer. This thing has been designed specifically to run with the F batteries basically. You need the F batteries to get any decent runtime out of this. So that's the 8 amp hour battery, the 5 amp hour battery, and the new 4 amp hour batteries, which I haven't got my hands on one of those yet, but they will be available in most regions shortly. So this thing can take a maximum pressure of 11.5 MPa, which I think is about 1670 psi, and 7 litres a minute of water flow. Now it has 3 modes, 5.5 litres on the highest mode and about 1230 psi, which sounds a little low to me, but it's always hard to know with these numbers on tools. It's not until you really try them that you find out whether they're actually good or bad. Some companies tend to overinflate their numbers, some underinflate them for some reason. For instance, the Ryobi 36 volt water blaster is 2030 psi, so significantly more, but whether it is actually any good at removing dirt compared to the Makita, you know, there might not be much difference, who knows. It's not until you get hold of these things and test them that you find out what's really going on. Anyway, so it's got 3 settings, 5.5 litres on the highest, 4.2 in the middle, 3 on the lowest setting, weighs about 12.3 kgs, and it's a 40 volt tool. It takes 2 batteries. but it's only a 40 volt, so it'll run one 40 volt battery down, and then once that one gets low, it jumps over to the other 40 volt battery. So if you've got two 8 amp hour batteries in there, you're looking at getting around 28 to 30 minutes runtime out of this thing. 48 minute, that's on the maximum setting, 48 minutes on the middle setting, and over an hour and a half if you have it on the low setting. The low setting, only good for just giving something a rinse down. The higher setting you're going to use for removing dirt from concrete or off a wall, paths, that sort of thing. The middle setting you might use if you're just sort of washing your house, washing your car, that sort of stuff. And it's got wheels, it's got a handle of course to pull it around, and it looks to have onboard storage for your attachments. And by attachments there is a myriad of different attachments. There is all sorts of things. You've got angled heads, you've got brushes, you've got patio brushes. There's even drain cleaning attachments, which looks quite good. I'm dealing with a few drainage issues around here at the moment, and I could do with one of those. But time will tell on whether it's actually up to the task. I'll hopefully get my hands on one of those sometime soon and give it a bit of a play. There's plenty of things around here that could be cleaned up with a water blaster at the moment. So this water blaster, I've known it's been coming for a long time. I've probably known for about 2 years since I first got a leaked memo from somebody in the UK, I think it was, who told me about this, sent through the information about it, and I did mention it in one of the other upcoming videos a while ago, but now it is finally a thing. Now that's basically the only new tool I've got to tell you. I told you about the wobble light and the small hammer drill in the 40 volt last time. So the rotary hammer drill is pretty much out now, depending on where you live of course, and the wobble light is out as well, but there's no other new ones that are out. But I've got some other ones that are coming up, some other Makita gear. So let's take a look at some patents. First up, an 18 volt PEX pipe expander. So this is something that if you're a plumber and you're in the US, you'll be aware of these tools. I'm not sure how common they are or if they're used anywhere apart from the US, but that is in the works. 18 volt, like I say, expanding your plumbing pipes. I don't know when that will be out, but there is a patent kicking about the place. Next, a drill guide. Now this seems like quite a good idea. If you have a handle that goes on your drill, say you buy a 40 volt hammer drill, comes with the side handle, you've got a couple of holes in the side of that side handle that then slot onto a frame to turn your drill into a drill press, so you can set the angle, so you can get repeated angles, or just so you can get that 90-degree angle that's so hard to get sometimes. So that seems like quite a cool idea, and if they included that in kits it would be quite nice. I look forward to sort of getting one of those, because sometimes you just want to get something on a bit of an odd angle and you want to repeat it like 20 or 30 times, and having something that's always set exactly the same that you can just clip straight onto your drill without having to have one of those third-party type attachments where you put your drill chuck into the drill chuck of the other attachment, and then things start getting wobbly when you do shit like that. But if you can just use your original drill and attach a guide, that would be very cool. So hopefully they release that. And something that's interesting to me, of course, impact drivers. So a couple of impact driver designs, one of which has no visible collet and chuck area, no anvil sticking out the front. So if you take a look at the picture there, you'll see it just a snub-nosed little impact driver. So the collet system would be used by turning the ring sort of around the outside of that to release your bit. So it's kind of a good idea, especially if you're trying to get into tight spaces, and perhaps maybe a little bit more reliable than your standard collet that you get on an impact driver. Who knows, time will tell. Other companies have tried this in the past. The original Ryobi, not the TTI Ryobi, did try it. I don't know how popular it was. I have never seen one since. Panasonic maybe do one, I can't remember. But it's an interesting design, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually go through with that. And something else sort of along the same lines is another impact driver that does have a collet and your standard sort of chuck out the front, but is looking to be only 97 millimeters in length. So it's a very compact design, much like the new Panasonic, and of course this DeWalt. This DeWalt coming in at 100mm from here to here. The new Panasonic is 98mm, and Makita looking at beating that by another 1mm. If Makita made an impact driver like this, I would be super stoked, because I love the small head on this thing. It's so much easier for getting into tight spaces. It's nice and light. I love this impact driver. If we could have the reliability of a Makita one though, because being a DeWalt, this runs at whatever friggin' speed it wants. I have two of these and they're both shit when it comes to quality. They both got completely different power. I bought them both at the same time. One's way more powerful than the other one straight out of the box, and I wanted them for comparison videos so that I could do my 2-screw reviews, but wasn't able to because they were too unreliable. Because when it comes to speed, this thing just runs at any speed it wants. This doesn't matter what you put this on. Sometimes it'll run slow in number 3 and fast in number 1. Sometimes it'll run perfect in number 3 and perfect in number 1. And sometimes it'll just run full whack no matter what you have it in. It's just mad. So if we could have the quality of a Makita one with Makita settings and only that big, I would be super stoked. And not only that, like this one, if we take a look at the battery, that's a power stack battery. If we take a look at this picture, you'll see Makita are looking at making a similar pouch style battery as well. Are they going to do that? Well, that'll be interesting. If they do a Makita one, it won't be quite as compact probably as the DeWalt one, just because of the width of the Makita rails on the batteries. But interesting to see that they are actually looking at new battery technology, which is good, because companies need to keep pushing the battery technology, because they're making tools that are good and powerful, but we need longer runtime on some of the real high energy draining tools, grinders, microwaves, that sort of thing. So that's another update done and dusted. If you are a Patreon supporter, your name will be coming down the side here. If you want your name going down the side here, take a look down there, up in the top corner somewhere. There will be links to Patreon. Check that out. You get more videos. You get videos with all the behind the scenes sort of stuff, all the stuff that I leave in, a lot of the swearing and the bloopers and the stuff ups that I make. So the videos can be a bit longer, plus sometimes they have extra content, songs and stuff in them. So yeah, if you're interested in that, take a look down there. If you love hearing me waffle on, yeah, down there. Until next time, I'll go and play with some tools and record some more stuff, and yeah, see you in another few days. Cheers guys.